That's one way of looking at it. I think another way of looking at it would be, you did it for you. You wanted to hear your own voice. What do you call that? A pipe bomb? Well, what happens if a pipe bomb goes off and no one's there to hear it? Does it make a noise? Answer is no, it doesn't. So you needed this platform. You needed the WWE Universe, because without the WWE, your pipe bomb and you really mean nothing.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado, free smoke. Look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver, pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends, don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much or how you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers, been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears, I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa. Bars forever like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our block, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril. Talk to a lady dying at 50, she feel defeated cause she lived her whole life by the book and she never cheated. But there she lay, fuck can I say, she questioned her face. I'm ignorant shit like sorry I pray, I mean. Not to her face, I mean, don't fear death, my nigga, I fear tomorrow. Cause no matter how high you get, you promise sorrow. End of the day, I'm still a nigga if I look mulatto. End of the day, I'm still a nigga if I hit the lotto. End of the day, I'm still a nigga if I with the Benz. Biggest lesson I learned is 17, you can pick your friends. Feel so much better when it ends. You never see the whole picture when you standing behind the lens. Look, I'm such a selfish motherfucker. I do not check up on my brother, I do not check up on my sister. Nephews, I don't pay no visit. But I always hit them girls back when they ask if we can kick it. Am I lucky, am I gifted? Am I grounded, am I lifted? I don't know. How do I keep on getting blessings? I don't sow. My auntie begged me, go to church and I don't go. Family functions, I don't show. I keep on dreaming, I don't.
Welcome back to another episode of Wrasslin with Saint. Listen, I know what I said. I know I was supposed to have multiple videos out this week. I just did not realize how fucking long it was going to take to build a fucking roof. Okay? I apologize. I have to be better. That's on me. It's no excuses. It's on me. I put it on me. The down spots that I took, I could have used those as opportunities to record and whatnot, but I didn't. And for some reason, like 3 days this week, my body wanted to act as if I was an old ass man and go to sleep early and shit. So it was pretty wild, but nevertheless, how the fuck you do it? How dope is your day? Let's get into it. We got to get the predictions in for WrestleMania Saturday night. Obviously, we're going to do the predictions for WrestleMania for Sunday tomorrow. Let's get into it. So the matches. The matches for Saturday night. Tonight, we got New Day taking on, which is Xavier Woods, Kofi, taking on Sheamus and Ridge Holland with Butch in the corner, I guess. He's ringside. Drew McIntyre taking on Happy Corbin with Madcap Moss at ringside. And boy, I gotta say something about that feud. The Mysterios take on Logan Paul. I did my research. I know that it is Logan Paul now. And The Miz, Seth, has a mystery opponent. I thought I had wrote down Io Shirai. That does not say that. That said the KO show featuring Stone Cold. You got the Usos, the Bloodline, taking on Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. Rick Boogs a strong motherfucker, bro. Charlotte Flair taking on Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. I don't understand why both of those matches is on the same night, if those are really on the same night. Because the report that I read, or where I got my information on the matches from Saturday night, it said that this match was on there. And when I was writing these down, I was like, I don't know if these matches is both on the same night, but it's to say it is. But why would we put it, Becky and Charlotte on the same card? Becky, Charlotte, Ronda, and Bianca on the same card when it's two cards. Like, I get you probably don't want to have neither of these two matches overshadowed by Roman and whatnot. That is not how WrestleMania works. Usually every match on WrestleMania gives you something to talk about and think about. Like, I can't wait till the WrestleMania reviews. Those shit's about to be... We gonna be up there. We gonna be past God. We gonna stop by and tell him what's up. Then we gotta go past it. But yo, let's get into it. I don't know what matches start off the show and whatnot. So this is not me going in order of how the matches are gonna go. This is just me talking about the matches as they will. The first match I want to start off with, though, Drew McIntyre, Happy Corbin. Yo, last night, Drew McIntyre. Yo, so I watched SmackDown last night, and it was crazy that they ended the show with that. That was pretty wild. Son, Happy Corbin. And it's hard for me not to call this motherfucker just Baron Corbin or Corbin, but when the last time somebody didn't call that man Baron Corbin? But Happy Corbin. Last night he was cutting a promo or whatever. He had a joke in there, or he threw a little diss that was like the what did he say? The sword and the... He basically cracked a dead mama joke on Drew McIntyre. Like, basically joking that Drew McIntyre's mom is dead. My lip hit the fucking floor, bro. I was like, yo, what the fuck? I was like, yo, this motherfucker did not just hit this motherfucker over the head with a dead mama joke, bro. It's like on Twitter when you say something to somebody and you got RIP to somebody in your bio. And if you piss somebody off, they'll be like, yeah, not as dead as your relative or whoever it is in the bio. That shit be crazy. That's basically essentially what what Happy Corbin decided to do tonight. He decided to just toss a dead mama joke at Drew. And instantly I'm like, oh shit, that motherfucker finna Will Smith this motherfucker. Finna go a little bit past the Will Smithing thing right here, right? Like, this shit is about to be insane. That right there upped the feud. Everything that done happened in this feud, care less about it. That was the thing that made sense to me. Oh, this is why they're having a match. You know? I understand Drew was like, oh, they tried to end my career. But I mean, my guy, you tried to end Mad Cap's career. But the dead mama joke, you know. Now, I get in wrestling, that's something. And even, you know, sometimes I say in my head, you know, is that joke really, you know, a joke that you should be cracking? Now, obviously, before people get a little oversensitive about it, listen, Drew McIntyre clearly had to okay that joke for it to fly. Corbin is never saying nothing like that if Baron Corbin doesn't okay it. It's no shot. That go above management. There's no way Baron Corbin agreeing. I mean, there's no way Corbin is saying that if Drew McIntyre doesn't agree to have that used as something to up a few, which tell me a lot about Drew McIntyre. You know, when you let shit like that fly, when it's all free game as a wrestler, when wrestlers say, hey, my whole life is free game. See, even though I'm not a Jeff Hardy fan, I do respect when Jeff Hardy allows storylines to be taken into, like, You a drug addict. You done fucked up multiple opportunities. Because I understand that's hard for people to hear. And I understand if Jeff was to say, don't ever bring that up in my feuds. However, because Jeff Hardy understand the business, and even understanding the business, you don't have to, release anything like that. But because Jeff Hardy understand the business, and he understand what he want to be in the business, and he understand how much better a feud could be, and how more realistic it could be, the aggression in a feud for somebody bringing up your alcohol problems and your drug problems and things like that. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was a kid and I watched who was it? Not Stone Cold. Kurt Angle shaved Big Show's head. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, Big Show finna beat the shit out of this man the next time they fight. Like shit like that, when you cross those lines that you think can't be crossed in wrestling, which can be crossed as long as everybody is in agreement with it. That just up a feud to me. And so when Drew got that dead mama joke cracked on him, I was like, oh boy, this is about to be interesting. Like Drew McIntyre about to send Corbin up there to talk to his mom. Now, Drew, that was not me trying to return a dead mama joke. I understand how that might have sounded, but I'm on your side, my guy. I'm on your side. You know what I'm saying? I don't condone that shit either. You know what I'm saying? You got to kick Buddy's ass. I'm all for it now. I'm all for it. You got to Claymore and him will not be enough. You got to try to end his career. You dig what I'm saying? Now, I think this match is going to be a good match. So one thing that people I don't think give Baron Corbin enough credit for, or Corbin enough credit for, Happy Corbin, he's a good wrestler. Like, he is a great in-ring wrestler. I told you, for the longest, he had my favorite two moves in the WWE, which are the Deep Six and End of Days. Both of those moves, it feel like every single time he perform them, he 10 out of 10 them motherfuckers. Every single time. It's almost like, and this is crazy, you never thought you would hear this reference on the show, when Alberto Del Rio used to perform that Tilt the World Backbreaker. That shit was beautiful every time he performed it on somebody. I even liked it how he got into his little cross armbar submission, but we done talking about Alberto Del Rio. Baron Corbin, to me, is one of the better in-ring wrestlers. And I think Drew McIntyre is a great in-ring wrestler. I just think that the problem with guys who wrestle great, or the problem with all wrestlers, really, is when you allow them to get into... Now, obviously, every wrestler is going to have their moveset and whatnot. But what you don't want is for every match to look the same. And I feel like sometimes Drew McIntyre matches can get into a rhythm of always looking the same. Even when he was the champion, the beginning of his run was looking the same until he fought Bobby Lashley. And I thought when he fought Bobby, and he wanted to bring the best out of Bobby, and Bobby wanted to bring the best out of them because of their past and whatnot, that to me was one of those matches for Drew that did not look like all of Drew's other matches. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like sometimes they get into this rhythm of booking Drew the same all the time. Big Scottish warrior, and he beat everybody the same. And it's not really... You understand when you got somebody like Drew, when he feuding with heels, he usually going to have, like, chairs brought into the equation. Like, he usually going to get beat up with means other than just pure wrestling because of how big the motherfucker is. And so you do get into a rhythm where even not just the stories kind of, feel the same and the wrestling feel the same, but the antics and shit start to feel the same. You know what I'm saying? It's always got to put two people against Drew because he's so I do hope after this feud that they can get Drew back into it. See, I think the problem is, and it's not that they got to knock Drew down a peg to make him feel, like people can beat him. I don't agree with that. You got to keep building people up. Now, while I do not believe he is going to lose at WrestleMania, and I told you, I'm making my predictions. I said this before. My predictions are not based off of who I think is going to win, based off like the just knowing wrestling. Like, I'm not picking my picks just because I know wrestling. Like, example, I know that Charlotte is more than likely going to lose that match. But I'm not picking Ronda Rousey to win the match. I'm picking these matches based off of who I want to win. All right? And if it's some different criteria once I'm going through a certain match, then I'll let you know. But for the most part, when I pick a match, It's not based off of what the dirt sheets or what the wrestling knowledge would have you, what we know based off of that shit. It's just off of being a fan on who I want to win, because that's what you should be doing on this type of event in WrestleMania. You should not be trying to pay attention to the dirt sheets. And that's why I don't understand why everybody was so obsessed with, like, I kind of really do believe, I wish WWE could go back to cave, like the days where you didn't know everything going on behind the curtains, even though I know it's no way it could ever be like that again. Just like that's all sports. And it's all entertainment, really. But because this news dropped, because let's say Cody Rhodes is the dude who fights Seth Rollins tonight. Because everybody was so obsessed of having that moment before it actually got here, the moment won't feel as big as it could have felt if you had to just allowed that to be a surprise. And because the dirt sheets keep trying to say that Cody coming there, and now the fans will continue to say he coming there, you kind of ruin a surprise for yourself. So I'm actually hoping that Seth Rollins don't fight Cody. I hope they swerve y'all motherfuckers. I hope somebody else come out and then Cody Rhodes possibly comes out of something. Like, I hope they don't just, and I know the WWE smart at this, so I hope they don't just give you, Cody Rhodes right off bat if he is the one who shows up. And I'll dive deep into more into Cody Rhodes when I get to that part. But nonetheless, I think if Drew McIntyre, so in this match, I'm picking Drew. I think I was always going to pick Drew. I really didn't have a pick for this match until last night. I wanted to see where the feud took me. You know what I'm saying? Because I actually do like Madcap and Corbin, because I think their characters are phenomenal and they're great at developing their characters and whatnot. I do believe a breakup is going to eventually happen, which is why I don't think this feud will continue after Mania, at least not with Drew. I could even see Madcap doing something to cost Corbin this match tonight. Like, I can see a lot of things. This match can go in so many directions. That's why I think it's going to be a great match. But I'm taking Drew McIntyre to win this match. But I do think some type of interference tonight will help Drew based off of something Madcap do. I'm just feeling it. Now, the reason I think this could be one of the better matches that people don't really pay attention to, Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin, while Drew is obviously a huge dude, he and Corbin can look eye to eye. Like, Corbin's not a little guy. Corbin's a big guy. He's very tall. So they can look eye to eye. Corbin is a strong dude, meaning to me, this is going to be a great match. I think this is going to be... Now, I don't know if this will be one of those matches that Drew be having with Sheamus and Bobby where they actually hitting the fuck out of each other and shit like that, being real stiff with each other on purpose. So it's not really being stiff if you're trying to have a hard-hitting match. But I do believe this will be a great match. Like, I believe you'll see some of Drew's best wrestling tonight. Corbin is going to have his spot. If they have Corbin come to WrestleMania and he don't hit the deep six, or he's gonna hit the deep six, but if he don't hit it end of days, oh, come on, what are we doing? Like, to me, this Drew McIntyre Corbin match gonna be one of them sleeper matches that people sleep on, especially if they give them time to have a great match, which I think they do. They will give them time, because from all things I'm seeing, they fuck with Drew, they fuck with Baron. I keep calling this man Baron. They fuck with Happy Corbin. I feel like this is going to be one of the better matches on the card, like out of both nights, because I like Drew in the ring. I think Drew phenomenal in the ring. I think Corbin phenomenal in the ring. Not just being great in the ring, phenomenal in the ring. Both of them motherfuckers are great at telling stories and shit. When you in the ring, it's not just about being great at wrestling. When you in the ring, you can still tell stories and shit and get reactions out of the crowd. Like, I was listening to Randy Orton talk about how he don't have to put his body in danger all the time when he go out there no more, because it's impossible to put your body in this type of danger doing this type of job 365 days a year, every year. It is hard to continuously have every match you are in put your body in danger. When you learn how to work a crowd and whatnot, I think that'll help get you through matches. And I think Drew and Corbin are very good at working crowds. And you're going to think this is crazy. I think Corbin is better at working the crowd than Drew. Maybe it's because Corbin is a heel, and he's been a heel basically his entire career. People don't really give him the credit he deserves. But I'm telling you, you might end up being surprised because of your expectations are so low for this match tonight. But I'm taking Drew in this match. Now, the next match I want to hop to, because since I was talking about it, Seth Rollins, mystery opponent. I want to talk about this. So, obviously, everybody think his mystery opponent going to be Cody Rhodes. Now, I don't have a problem if his mystery opponent is Cody Rhodes. Like I said before, don't understand how you are one of the people who helped start AEW, and then you come right back to the WWE. Now, I understand some people will say, well, Cody Rhodes' dad was in the WWE and all that other shit. Well, his dad was in the WWE also before he left for AEW, so that won't make too much sense to me. And when you're hearing this bag and stuff in the background, that's me getting my guts bag for me to drop these guts in. But, so, it's not that, because I don't really have a problem with Cody. I believe I said that before. I don't hate Cody. I don't dislike Cody. Nothing like that. I just don't see where Cody fits in on the roster right now. For the simple reason, people can bitch and complain and try to take shots at the WWE saying, oh, it's a bad product and all this shit. I think the WWE roster is as good as it's been in a long time. I think the product is as great as it's been in a long time. To be completely honest with you, the only legitimate problem I have ever truly had with the WWE is the John Cena era. And that's because I had to live through that shit right after I had lived through the middle and end of the Attitude Era as a kid. And then as a teenager, I had to live through that John Cena era, I think all the way up to about high school. And that's when I said, you know what? I'm playing sports all the time. I got extracurriculars that I'm doing outside of school. I done found out what pussy is. I was like, it ain't that I think wrestling is whack. Because anytime anybody ever told me that wrestling was for kids or wrestling was whack, I never heard that. That shit never did anything to me. Like that, hearing people say that shit never made me say, oh, I'm gonna stop watching wrestling because my homies think it's whack. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was never that individual. That was never me. I will watch wrestling if I want to watch wrestling. But at the time, it had just became, I hate watching John Cena. Like, I do not enjoy his matches. I do not enjoy his feuds. He's great on the mic. He's great ambassador for this business. But this man is not good in the ring. He is great on the mic. And while I say all the time that being good in the ring ain't the only thing, you got to be great on the mic. He great in the mic, and he really ain't great in the ring. He have to rely on, like, to me, John Cena is what Roman Reigns would have turned into if not for the fact they turned him heel. Because if they had to continue to force him to be a face, he would have just went down and continued to go down the John Cena road, the John Cena path. I don't know why turning him heel is what ultimately had them figure out how to book him. I just truly believe WWE got to hire some people who know how to book faces. Like, because it's so hard to be a believable face in today's society. Well, in today's WWE for a long time. Like, because fans get bored after a while. So you got to find creative who can book baby faces, but book them great and powerful for a long time. That's why I say some of the problems that you get into when you're booking baby faces when you book them like a child baby face. Like when you give them a child personality. Because then it's hard to buy into that type of character. Because you're like, I can't relate to this motherfucker. This is like a child. This is like somebody my children would be rooting for or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So if they can figure out how to book these faces better, I think that would help a lot. Either way, though, back to the Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. So I'm not saying that the mystery opponent is going to be Cody Rhodes. Now, I understand that's what everybody's speculation is, but I don't think it's going to be Cody Rhodes. Now, if it is Cody Rhodes, I won't be mad for the simple reason I do believe if given the time, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes could put on a fucking match. A fucking match. Now, Cody Rhodes is somebody who, while I don't believe he is anywhere near the greatest in-ring competitor I've ever seen in my lifetime, I do think he good in the ring and he can give you a great match, especially if he got a great dance partner. And Seth Rollins is an unbelievable dance partner for anybody. So, I could see a great match coming out. I can't see a bad one coming out of this, to be honest with you, unless they just don't give him time. But if they give him time, yeah, I think this is going to be A pretty decent match. Well, and they haven't worked together in a long time, but obviously, you know, behind the scenes, they would have to be. I'm not going to keep telling y'all about behind the scenes stuff, bruh. On what could be happening behind the scenes. We're not doing that. But if it is Cody Rhodes who he end up fighting, you know, that could be interesting. Now, in my mind, I'm trying to decide, like, who could be some other mystery opponents. But, so, this is the thing. Unless it's like, I can't really think of no wrestler that they could just, like, because you could name anybody and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's a possibility, except for like certain things, obviously. But like, you name just about anybody and you could get that could be him, or, you know, out of me, because I don't think about it too hard. I want to be surprised and shocked at who they bring out to fight Seth. So I'm like I said, I'm not thinking about it too hard. I don't have a bunch of mystery opponents for him to fight. Shit, if he want to fight somebody, because he can't, it won't be Triple H. That would have been a great one for me. It's not going to be Shawn Michaels. It's not going to be Stone Cold. Not going to be The Rock. So I'm ready to be shocked. I'm ready to be surprised. Now, like I said, if it is Cody Rhodes, I'm not going to be disappointed in no shit like that. I'm going to be pretty pissed off that y'all motherfuckers kept intentionally trying to ruin the surprise. But, you know. Now, if Cody Rhodes do walk out, nah, I'm not going to be surprised. When Cody Rhodes walk out that motherfucker, I will not be surprised, because you guys ruined the surprise. So, I do appreciate y'all for that. But who do I think will win if they fight? I mean, it'd be crazy to bring back Cody and not have him win this match, right? But I'm a big component of fuck Cody. And it's not necessarily fuck Cody. It's like when Sting fought Triple H, everybody was like, oh, Sting gonna win, Sting gonna win. And I was like, nah, I'm a big component of fuck Sting. And so I had Triple H winning that. Now, I'm not gonna do a deep dive into why those two. Now, don't think it was because, I'll just let you know right now. Neither of those two times when I just said fuck Sting, fuck Cody, there's not nothing like personal, like fuck them. No. I want to see as the bigger this channel grow, I'm sure people will eventually watch this video. I want to see if people figure out why that's my take on that situation. Because those two matches should give you a lot of information. If you one of those Easter egg type motherfuckers. Why would I say fuck Sting, fuck Cody Rhodes in those two matches specifically? What about those matches? What surrounding those things would make me say those type of things? And it's not like some individual thing that like they did off the out of the wrestling ring, like, oh, they got in trouble with the law. No, it's not nothing like that. It's not nothing like that. I didn't even do no research on them to be knowing something like that. If Cody come back, is Brandy coming back though? His wife, is she coming to the WWE if he come back? And if so, is she gonna be more than just a what do you call her, Kayla? Like, Kayla kinda evolving past her role as just interviewing motherfuckers in the back. Like, she kinda, you know what I'm saying, help progress stories and help egg on feuds and shit. So Kayla is actually pretty great at her job. I wonder, is that what they're gonna have Brandy doing when she come back, if she come back with Cody, or is she gonna be like a wrestler? And I don't even know if Brandy can wrestle, because I've never seen her wrestle a day in my life. Now, I'm pretty sure there's highlights and videos out there where I could go watch her wrestle. But I'm not going to do that. I'd rather be surprised. So, if, let's say Cody Rhodes do come out. I'm taking Seth to win the fight. Let's say Cody Rhodes don't come out. I'm taking anybody else to beat Seth. I really hope they do pop out somebody, though, that's bigger than a Cody Rhodes, though. Because Cody Rhodes might be big to y'all just because the motherfucker been over there on AEW for a while, but nah, not to me. I don't see Cody no different than how I saw him when he left the WWE, to be completely honest with you. And that's not nothing disrespectful. Like, I don't, based off of how I'm talking about Cody, some motherfuckers could infer that I'm saying Cody's a bum. No. I don't think Cody's a bum. I'm not even going to name wrestlers who I think are bad, legitimate wrestlers. because I still feel kind of bad about that shot that I took at Dana Brooke, even though it's a legitimate, true shot. I'm just saying, bro, like that. I'm not even gonna get into that. But I'm taking Seth Rollins to win this match if Cody Rhodes do pop out. What match we want to hop to next? The Mysterios. You got Dom and you got Ray. You got family. What the fuck happened to Aaliyah? Not the other Aaliyah on the roster. I'm talking about Aaliyah, their sister. But then again, why would she still be in this feud rocking with them? I don't know, bro. I feel like they could have a pretty fire-ass stable. Especially if they was heels. But nevertheless, we got the Mysterios. The Mysterios taking on The Miz and Logan Paul. Hey, I told you, bro. I did my research. I know it's Logan Paul this time. Not only do I know that it's Logan Paul, yo, I done seen some pictures of this motherfucker. This motherfucker is ripped. Like, yo, I'm a big show respect where it's earned, bro. And that motherfucker has worked hard on that body that he is walking to that ring with tonight. Man look like he been eating weights. And I respect that. I really do. Mysterio, I said that you can't lose this match because you're doing this for all the wrestlers. Even though I'm a big fan of somebody like a Logan Paul, not a fan of Logan Paul, just a fan of celebrities or, athletes who love the WWE and willing to come into the WWE. Now, my biggest out of the recent celebrities and big like superstars outside of the WWE that's done come into, because I really don't want to just say celebrities, but I do categorize Bad Bunny and guys like musicians, athletes, all the people who don't work with the WWE recently. To me, the best one by a landslide so far was Bad Bunny. Because Bad Bunny, he actually fucking, you could tell he put in that work. He did his time behind the scenes in order to, be good at this. Pat McAfee. Oh, I can't forget Pat. But Pat, I look at Pat as a part of the WWE now. Like, I don't look at him as a fan no more. Like, he is still a fan, but I look at him as a part of the WWE roster. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't just a commentator. A commentator in the WWE is a part of the WWE. Like, you look at JR, Michael Cole, and all those guys, JBL, Booker, who was all parts of the commentary team. You looked at them as parts of the WWE when they were on those commentary teams. I don't know what the fuck I had just said. But, I think Logan Paul, he got a lot to live up to. Like I said, you got Bad Bunny and you got Pat McAfee. So, you got a lot to live up to, Logan. You got a lot to live up to. And I'm going, what'd be funny? If Logan Paul win this fight by knocking Mysterio out. If he knocked Ray out, bruh, like a solid, imagine if he popped him with an uppercut. Imagine if Logan Paul come in that motherfucker and knock Dom ass out with an uppercut right in front of Ray. And Ray coming over to save him and he pop him with an uppercut too. Nah, the Miz just give him a boot out of nowhere. Because I can see this being one of them matches that really pissed the crowd off. Like the heels win this fight and they dig it in at the end. Because that's going to happen tonight. I'm just telling you right now. And I know some people might be thinking, yeah, it's going to happen tonight because Roman and heel is going to win. No. When Roman Reigns wins tonight, my apologies, Tribal Chief. When our Tribal Chief Roman Reigns wins tonight, it's not going to be like a rub it in or none of that. No. This is going to be a coronation of a goat. Okay? A coronation of a goat. Now, if, this fight, when this one ends, these is two dudes who, people like to hate. Or people just hate, period. So these are the two type of heels that are like the heels that get under your skin, that purposely do shit to piss you off even more. Even though The Miz, to me, is one of the greatest heels in the business, especially as far as his mic work and how I love how he been working the crowd recently. Like when he did the little Cleveland promo about how he would never have a Super Bowl in Cleveland and all that. And he's like, let's be honest, I don't even live in Cleveland anymore. I haven't lived in Cleveland in forever. Like The Miz just really know how to work a crowd, yo. And that is so rare that you can work a crowd as masterfully as The Miz can. Like, The Miz is on the level of a Roman Reigns as far as mic work. You think of any of the best people in any of the best WWE wrestlers, entertainers in the WWE, some of the best on the mic, The Miz is up there. And The Miz to me, The Miz done always truly done been a pretty decent mic worker, but just in his older ages, bro. It's because I kind of remember Miz's pipe bomb, really, where he was like, I don't get the credit I deserve. I be in here busting my ass, and I don't get injured. I show up. I remember that promo he popped. I can't remember if it was against Daniel Bryan, but I remember his promo against Daniel Bryan also. To me, The Miz is a Hall of Famer. Like, it's not even close. A first ballot Hall of Famer. He one of the dudes who never get the appreciation he deserves unless he actually go out there and demand it and make you open your eyes and realize, damn, The Miz really is that guy. So, but I'm not one of those fans. I truly do appreciate every single one of the wrestlers, and I try to show them their appreciation while they perform. And I hate showing wrestlers appreciation after they retire, especially it's not that I hate it when we do it. I prefer that we do it when they retire, but also show them that same love and adulation when they doing what they doing. That go for all athletes really, but especially for wrestling when it's not a team v team type of thing. You know what I'm saying? You could like a character today in wrestling and hate him tomorrow. Hate him today and love him tomorrow. So, you see what I'm saying? You can love them second to second if they sucking you in with a great promo like The Miz, Roman, KO. So many great promos in the WWE. But this match, I also think is going to be a good match. I'm going to just go ahead and tell you, I think every single match on the card is going to be a good match. But to me, the reason I have faith in this match, not only because Rey Mysterio is a world-class athlete, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and one of the greatest vets of the game. You see me showing that respect to Rey Mysterio, even though I've never been a Mysterio fan, really. Like, I'm a fan of Mysterio, the person, the wrestler. Just never really been somebody who I truly rooted for in the WWE. Not because I hated him or nothing, because I always picked the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a big fan when Batista was whooping his ass left and right. But that's because I was a Batista fan. I'm not a bully. I was just a big fan of Batista. Always and forever. One of the greatest entrances of all time. One of the greatest. Yeah! I can't even do it, but that's going to fuck my throat up right there, pause. But The Miz is a great in-ring worker. You're not going to tell me that you put The Miz and Rey Mysterio in a match and tell those two to carry the match, and you're not going to tell me they can't do it. We done come a long way from when The Miz was in WrestleMania against John Cena and was an afternote, even though he was in the main event and he was the champion and he retained. We're a long way from that. When he is in a match now, he feels important. And congratulations to him on that, because he had to take that moment and say, yeah, I won. But the attention was so far away from me in a match that I was in that it made no sense. I will never allow myself to be that little in a feud involving me again. And so I respect The Miz, because not only do he make himself feel big in the match, in every feud and match he make his opponent feel big in those matches that he in. Miz understood that if I make it feel important, everybody will think it's important. You cannot remember The Miz's feuds with Dolph Ziggler. Those felt like some of the biggest matches on the card at the time, even bigger than those, the main title feuds, because of how important The Miz makes shit feel. Like, I just think The Miz is so underappreciated and so underrated. Like, I always want to give The Miz all his flowers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gave Maurice all her flowers in a match that they had earlier this year or last year, when they was in the tag team match against Edge and Beth Phoenix. But now it's time to heap praise on The Miz, because I didn't watch The Miz from start to now. And not only is The Miz, when you look back at his career, one of the greatest upgrades as far as him upgrading his swag throughout the years, but just his character development and his character improvement. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about the evolution of your characters, evolving your characters, continually progressing your character, getting your character to a point where they can work in any story, they can work with any feud, they can adapt to any type of wrestler. You know what I'm saying? Some feuds don't have to be about the wrestling. Some feuds you can sell more so outside of the ring than you can inside of the ring. But it's only certain wrestlers who know how to do that. But it all comes when you know how to evolve your character, when you know how to evolve as a wrestler, as a character, as an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? And I think The Miz is one of those dudes who done found a way to do it all. Like, think about it. When you create a wrestler, you probably don't necessarily create him to look like The Miz. But you do want him to be flashy like The Miz. You want him to be able to never get hurt like The Miz. You want him to be able to put on consistent good matches like The Miz. Now, maybe you don't agree with the entirety of The Miz's moveset. So maybe you add and tweak a move here and there. But you do create a wrestler who is a great promo like that. That is great to work with like that. Who can adapt to any situation and work with any type of wrestler. I'm just saying. Maybe it's time for people to give The Miz his flowers now and don't wait till when he retire and go into the Hall of Fame. Because to be completely honest with you, The Miz probably got a lot of years left in him. Like I was hearing Randy talk about how he done refound his love for wrestling and whatnot. I don't think The Miz done ever lost his love for wrestling, but I can't wait till he get into another feud that just completely rejuvenate him again. Like, not really rejuvenate him in the sense that, oh, he done lost his passion, but get him to a point where he like, oh, I gotta kill. Because I already feel like The Miz is, like I just said, is one of those guys who make every story feel important. But I can't wait till he get with that dude who just like him, who want the story to feel just as important as The Miz. So now they competing to see who can get the best out of each. When The Miz get himself into one of them eventually, like he was when he had his Daniel Bryan. The Miz got to find his Daniel Bryan again. Because he don't have his Daniel Bryan right now. You know what I'm saying? Like Roman got Brock. I truly believe that Bobby Lashley's counterpart is Drew McIntyre. I just don't think they realized what they had until it was too late to separate them on a different show and whatnot. But a lot of wrestlers are great and they still searching for their counterpart. Like, some people think Charlotte's counterpart is Becky, and if you keep forcing it down our throats that's the feud, then I guess eventually it will be. But I actually think Charlotte, because this is another point. Some wrestlers don't need that one other guy. Like Rock had Stone Cold. He had Triple H, and vice versa for those guys. Triple H had Rock, he had Stone Cold, he had Shawn Michaels, he had Undertaker had Shawn Michaels, Edge. You see what I'm saying? So you can have multiple guys, you know what I'm saying? And that's to me very evident when you look at like Charlotte, Bayley, Becky, Sasha. I do really, and Bianca, I really do wish they start to, and I think it's going to be hard, especially if Ronda win, and depending on what Ronda is, you know, as far as how great she can be developing her character and evolving as a WWE wrestler, not an MMA fighter, but a WWE wrestler. That division right now was built to the point where everybody could be everybody's one. You know what I'm saying? Like Ronda could be Bayley's one. Becky. Now, ultimately, when it's all down to it, Charlotte and Bianca to me. I really hate that they dropped the ball with the Charlotte and Sasha thing, because I think that's another situation in which they knew what they had, but they didn't really know what they had. Because if Charlotte and Sasha continued to have matches, like, because Charlotte and Sasha had that one, like, 2-year span where they was always wrestling. They was feuding all the time. And they was putting on some of the best matches of their career. And ever since those two feuded back in those times where they was on Raw, I swear to God, it has not been a proper Charlotte-Sasha feud since that point. And I don't know if they just intentionally been making us wait for that, or if they just been dropping the ball when it come to revitalizing and rejuvenating that feud, because that's the feud that I want to see. I don't even think they did a proper Bayley Charlotte feud, because that's not a feud that should have happened when you got both of these motherfuckers as heels. And Charlotte is not somebody that people are going to cheer for, because they're going to keep feeling like, oh, you force her down our throat. So they're going to naturally cheer for the other person, which is why you should never take Charlotte out of her heel role. She should always be somebody who is feeding off of booze and trying to get more booze. You should not be trying to get her cheered. The only time people should be cheering Charlotte is when she is in her hometown, or when you're in one of those crowds that just respect greatness. Because you do go to some wrestling towns that could care less if you a heel or a face. They just respect greatness. So if you're a great wrestler, they're going to cheer for you. This year, Charlotte done had a couple of times where she go to arenas where it's a town where the fans just love greatness and they just cheer for her the whole time. Like, it was a little run she was going on with that. But other than that, outside of those type of situations, Charlotte should never be getting cheered. You know what I'm saying? She should never be in a situation where you want her to be cheered. She should be. That's why I said a couple years ago, even though I didn't have a show at the time, Charlotte shouldn't be in a situation where you having her compete against women who could be legitimate baby faces. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is to me one of the reasons why her feud with Sasha back in the day was so good, because Sasha was so very clearly a babyface, and this was before Sasha ever became a heel on the main roster. So this is before I even knew that heel Sasha and babyface Sasha sounded the exact fucking same. But I love Sasha Banks. One of the best ring gears. Hey, you already know the night about to be lit when we talk about who had the best ring. Hey, it's WrestleMania. This is the Oscars, the Super Bowl. It's all those big fucking shows. The NBA Finals. It's all that for the wrestlers. So you know they about to have on their best attire. Who gonna rock the best white and gold tonight? Who gonna rock the red and gold tonight? Who gonna rock the black and gold tonight? I'm just going ahead and tell you right now. You're gonna see a lot of different golds tonight. Different shades of gold, different shades of silver probably. Hey, who gonna have the best fit on tonight? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now. I'm giving it to either Charlotte, Becky, Bianca. Those are my three leads right now, just based off of the fact that they've been killing the game this year recently with their gear. But I'm also gonna throw a pitch in there for New Day. They might come up with some fire shit tonight. Roman Reigns might come up with a fire little set tonight, but I'm not really holding it too high for him. Sasha and Naomi could come out with some fire ass gear tonight. The possibilities are endless. So, hey, I can't wait to see who got the most fire ass fit on tonight. But listen, did I give my prediction on that match? Yeah, okay, I'm taking The Miz and Logan Paul to win this match, because listen, I think this gonna get to a point where The Miz and Logan Paul gonna do some shiesty shit to get the dub. Ultimately, I think that's what's gonna lead to a win for The Miz, and I really think Logan Paul gonna knock somebody the fuck out tonight. I really got a feeling. I told you, I done my background search. I done my research. I know Logan Paul is a fighter now, and I know he done boxed, and I know he trying to do good by the UFC fighters to get them boys paid. Anybody who do that type of shit and who know Dana is hustling these motherfuckers is good in my books. So I'm basically all the way in on Rey Mysterio. I mean on Miz and Logan Paul. Miz Paul. You know what I'm saying? Because I already I love The Miz. I just got done going on a little thing telling you how great he is and how underappreciated he is. But I think I'm taking The Miz and Logan Paul tonight. Yes, Lord. That's who I'm taking tonight. Now, let's hop into the New Day. King Woods. Kofi Kingston. Taking on Sheamus, Ridge Holland, with Butch in the corner. Butch. Now, obviously, well, okay, let me start off with this. These two, they done fought a lot in the last couple weeks. Had one of those video game rivalry lead ups. Like, it's funny how on WWE 2K, how they don't do, how the rivalries that you set up in the universe mode, you have to fight each other every week, which makes no sense, because most feuds in the WWE, or some of the best ones, they're not fighting every week. Some week they just cutting a promo on each other. Some weeks they fighting a different person. Shit, it's even rare times in a feud where the two people who feuding against each other team up to take on a different type of team. Like, I really think the WWE 2K is almost as if they don't watch wrestling or haven't been wrestling fans the entirety of their lives at times. Like, they know wrestlers, but they don't know scenes, scenarios, and different type of things that's done happened over the years. Like, I can't understand for the, like, now mind you, I haven't played this new WWE game yet. I do plan on buying it and playing it eventually. Right now I'm obsessed with the MLB, trying to get good at that. However, if I get that game and they still don't have the NXT, what's that fucking NXT match? The chamber match in NXT where it's two fucking chambers and shit. I can't remember what that match is called at the moment. But if they still don't have that game mode in there, or that specific type of match, then I'm wondering to myself, what are we really doing on these games? Because I don't understand. You would get way more playability out of it. Now, WWE 2K games, or period, when they done right, they get a lot of playability anyways. But you would get even more playability if you put these little... And I feel like sometimes people think these is like major things, and really they not. They just minor things that I think that's how the studio look at it. And, oh, people won't miss it. Yeah, but we will, though. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. I think the New Day and Sheamus and Ridge Holland, I do think they'll have a great match. I'm actually, the lowest expectations for any match is actually kinda this one, but not because of New Day. New Day are both great wrestlers, as is Sheamus. They put on great matches when they in big moments. I don't know how good Ridge Holland is in a spot like this, to be honest with you. And even though I know Pete Dunne / Butch / Pete Dunne done been in big moments, he ain't in this match. So I don't know how great Ridge Holland will be in a match, in this match specifically, because this is the biggest stage he will have ever wrestled on, and one of the biggest moments. And he got to expect it. He about to get boos, not just because he a heel, but because it's about to be a lot of Big E fans in the crowd tonight. A lot of Big E fans in that crowd tonight that has been waiting for weeks to get this moment to boo the absolute shit out of Ridge Holland. Whether you feel like it's deserved or not, he got to understand he might get the loudest amount of boos to start off any match tonight. Or like, unless something just wild happened, he might get the loudest boos just based off of people not liking just a character. He might get the loudest boos tonight. We shall see. But, you know, depending on how, because I don't think Ridge is a bad wrestler, nothing like that. I just, like I said, it's more so this stage you on could cause people to have jitters and whatnot. And so I'm very interested to see how this match goes. Now, I'm taking New Day to win this match because I don't bet against the New Day. Those are my guys. I'm taking the New Day. They're definitely winning this match. But I'm interested to see what this interference and what if Butch switch sides on him. Now, I know that's not gonna happen, but what if Butch and them lose tonight and they take out Ridge Holland? Yo, what if Butch and them boys lose tonight and Butch and Ridge Holland take out Sheamus? You get that Ridge Holland Butch v Sheamus feud going. I like to see that. Shit, I love to see that. I'm with that, actually. But yeah, I'm taking New Day to win that match. I don't got too much more to say about that match. Now, I'll wait for that one. Oh, let me hop into this one. I can't believe I skipped over this. I can't believe I didn't see this one. Usos, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Rick Boogs. This is actually the match. I think this is gonna be a good match too. At first, when I had saw this match, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a bad match," because Rick Boogs, Shinsuke. But that was me tripping. Shinsuke is a great wrestler. I don't know. Rick Boogs gave me confidence after seeing him on SmackDown last night. This motherfucker did like a washing machine move with a wrestler last night. I'm like, yo, do you realize how much strength it take him to do that, even with the wrestler trying to work with him as far as like moving his body weight? Like, that shit's still hard to do. And the fact that he end all these fucking moves with basically tossing the motherfucker. Yeah, that motherfucker Rick Boogs is pretty impressive. I had to get past the screaming and all that bullshit he was doing earlier. But I think this is going to be a good match. Like, I think, for one, the Usos ain't new to this. They true to this. Big stage ain't never scared the Usos. They already know what it's like to tear down, to be one of the better matches on WrestleMania without having those expectations. Now they're going to have big spin. Now every time I feel like you see the Usos in a big match on a big show, or in any match on a big show, you feel like the Usos going to tear it down. Shit, you can put these motherfuckers on a pre-show and they going to tear it down like they in the main event. That's why I love the Usos and the New Day, man. They just know how to get the most out of tag team wrestling. That's why they are such legends to me. The Usos and the New Day get the most out of the tag teams they face. Because to me, the New Days and the Uso are the standards. They are the bar. We are the bar. But I got fucking... Okay, so I actually got a concern with Shinsuke. I think Shinsuke done got into a mode where all his shit kind of starting to look the same and feel the same. But I got high hopes because I think they finna tear it down. I think this is gonna be one of Shinsuke's best matches of the recent couple of his recent year or so. I think him and Rick Boogs, I don't think they winning it, but I do think they about to ball the fuck out. Like, I think this match could be a long match and could keep going down to the wire. Like, cause it's just something about tag team wrestling, bro. The Usos know how to put on a fucking show when it's time to lace them up and put on a show. Like, they just give you your money's worth every time. Every fucking time. You might see this match tonight with the Usos and Rick Boogs, and which they need to give Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura a fucking name. If they've been together this long, the tag team should have a name by now. That's one thing I ain't cool with, bro. Tag teams should always have a name. You can't keep calling tag teams that stay together for so long just by their names. Like, introducing the tag team of Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. No, come on, man. They don't introduce Jimmy and Jay separately. They say Jimmy and Jay introduce the Usos, and then they introduce who are in the Usos. They even call them the Bloodline. So, like, Shinsuke and Rick Boogs got to come up with a name, man. Especially if they're going to stay together another year or so past WrestleMania. Like, come on. It don't make no sense for them not to have a name at this point. Now, this could be one of those matches on WrestleMania that's like a feel-good match. Because there's going to be some match on there where the face win. And it's feel-good for the crowd. But I'm not picking based off of that. I'm picking based off of who I want to win or I think as a wrestling fan is going to win. And I think the Usos going to get this dub. But I think they're going to tear down the fucking house. Rick Boogs going to do some insane shit in this match. He going to do some insane shit in this match. And I pray that they can get it off clean. Because I just feel he going to do something. Every time you got a dude that's insanely strong, Cesaro, Braun, I mean, just think of all the dudes that's done come through the WWE that's strong as shit. Mark Henry. You know, you can't talk about dudes that's strong and not mention the world's strongest man. But just think about all the different dudes who's strong as shit, who come through on big moments and big stages and do like some crazy ass feat, show some crazy feat of strength. Yeah. I can't imagine that Rick Boogs not going to have that type of moment tonight. But I am picking the Usos to win this because that veteran savviness, my guy. That veteran savviness, my guy. But yeah, the Usos winning that. Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey. Let's go ahead and knock that out. So I think this is going to be a good match. I've been thinking about this. I keep telling y'all that, but I told you I was going to say all of them, I think. If I really didn't think it would be a good match, I'd tell you. Or if I had some thoughts on it. But I have some thoughts on this one because I'm interested to see how Ronda perform on this stage. Now, Ronda done performed on this stage before, and I thought her and Charlotte had the better parts of that triple threat match, 2-3 years ago. So I'm very interested to see how this one go now that it's a solos match because Charlotte is the lead, Ronda will be following. But I'm very interested because to me, Ronda had a good match with Nia Jax. And Nia Jax is not the type of wrestler who you would expect to lead the dance and do a good job at leading. But she did. And so when you get somebody of the caliber of a Charlotte Flair, hey, the top dog, like, because I don't give a fuck. And I'm pretty sure I say this every time we wrestling with Saint. Could care less how you feel about Charlotte personally with your ridiculous feelings on Charlotte. Charlotte is one of the greatest wrestlers to ever exist. And so if Ronda can win this match tonight, this will be one of her biggest wins of her career, regardless of what she tell you. This is one of the biggest wins of Ronda Rousey's career. If she can get this win tonight. Because I'm not too sure Charlotte going to lose this. Now, I will say this. Charlotte on a little run of losing in WrestleMania. Losing at Mania. Like, so if she lose this one, I think it'll be like 3 or 4 L's in a row at Mania. And then we're going to have to sit down and have a conversation, Charlotte, because now you're starting to put together a little bit of a LeBron James track record in the big games. And we're going to have a discussion about that. You know what I'm saying? Why is Charlotte Flair the GOAT? I don't even really like putting Flair at the end of it because, you know, to me, you don't need to. Charlotte. Why is one of the greatest of all time, Charlotte, not able to get it done in the biggest moments, such as WrestleMania? You know what I'm saying? I need to hear that on ESPN, man. Why we not talking about that? I love Charlotte, obviously, one of my favorites of all time. But Charlotte, what's up? We got to take out Ronda tonight. I don't give a fuck about how big Ronda is, man. Charlotte, if we lose tonight, it's 4 in a row or 3 in a row. They gonna start questioning our GOAT status. Your GOAT status, my bad. They gonna start questioning your GOAT status. So come on, we gotta get this together. Now let's get into the next match. We done went over the New Day. We done went over Drew. We done went over the Mysterios. We done went over Seth. Oh yeah, we got 2 left. Bianca, the EST is about to reclaim her gold tonight against Big Time Bex. I'm starting to become a bigger fan of Big Time Bex, even though I kind of do feel like Bex is having a pretty difficult time carrying stories without the extreme. Like, I think it's easy for her to carry a story. Let me rephrase this. I think this is the best I've seen Becky Lynch carry a story in a while, as far as like okay, so one of my things is I do think Becky's title reigns and stories die out because I don't think she is really a great storyteller or a great story progressor as much as she is great at building her character. And it's kind of like CM Punk, but not CM Punk, because I do not think Becky Lynch is selfish like CM Punk was. I do not think that. I do think Becky want other people to become better and be great around her, and she want to progress. I do not think Becky Lynch just want to be solely great and don't want nobody else to be great. I do not agree with that. That is what CM Punk was, regardless if people want to believe it or not. The pipe bomb, like Triple H said, was for him and nobody else. But with that being said, I have heard people say, and I even been one of the people to say, you know, Becky Lynch really struggled having good stories unless it's with a Charlotte or a Bianca now or a Sasha or a Bayley. But I'm throwing that out the window because, listen, when you get to WrestleMania, those are the people who you are usually going to be trying to beat or compete against at Mania. The big dogs. You know, Charlotte, Bex, Sasha, Bayley, Naomi, Bianca. Like, these are the big dogs at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at that. But I do think this has been a good job, a good storytelling all the way through from start to finish, especially when you count in the entirety of the story, not just where they pick back up at. But if you look at Bianca's journey to get back to this moment, where it all started, her losing the title to Bex and trying to get it back. This whole thing to me done been probably one of Becky's best stories, because usually her is, even though I know some people take Charlotte's story with her because they'll say look at the beginning of it and whatnot, but I just really don't look at that story like that, because I don't think that none of those matches in the beginning really mattered. Anytime Charlotte had beat her early, it wasn't really based off a feud. It was just a quick stepping stone. Her feud was usually with Sasha or somebody else. It usually wasn't with Bex. Now, they knew, renewed feud since she had turned heel, that failed heel attempt at first. Till now, yeah, pretty decent storytelling, I would say. I don't really think it's as great as some people think, but yeah, it's been decent. But to me, this feud right here done been one of Bec's best, one of her better long-time feuds. And while I keep saying that Bianca's ultimate destiny is to take over the mantle from Charlotte, I do believe Bianca could, still have a phenomenal feud, historical feud with Bex, like Big Time Bex. Like, this don't have to be the end of the feud. But I am picking Bianca to retain her gold tonight. And not retain, but to get it back, to reclaim what she lost once. You know what I'm saying? Like, this match ain't about to be a couple seconds, Bex. I promise you that. Not this time. And I think, I truly believe Becky is about to have one of her best matches of her career. This is the match that I think is going to be the best one of the card tonight. I think Becky Bianca is going to be the best match on the card, and I think this is going to have a match with the two best dressed wrestlers. Like, I think out of all the fits we see, this will be one of the matches where both wrestlers in the match have fire ass fits on. I'm telling you right now, whoever bring out the white and gold, and if it's fire, they might win the award from me off rip. Or black and gold. But I think this match is about to be insane. And I think they're going to get a lot of time to close the show. I mean, I don't even think they're closing the show. I think Flair, apologies, Charlotte. I think Charlotte and Ronda are going to close the show. But I want Becky and Bianca to close the show. For the simple reason, Bianca is this type. Because I think Bianca is it. Like, she is the one that's about to become one of the greats. Like, she is about to prove she is going to take that torch from Charlotte. I personally think you have to start getting her prepared for these type of moments, like to be the main event. And I was against WrestleMania being 2 nights, but because I love wrestling and I love the WWE and I love WrestleMania, the fact that it's 2 nights don't bother me. I'm against not necessarily 2 nights. I'm against it being 2 nights and just 2-hour or 3-hour shows. I want them to still be 2 nights, and I want them to be about 5, 6, 7 hour shows still a piece. That's what I want. And with the size of this card, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches, probably a bunch of nonsense in between, a bunch of shenanigans and stuff in between, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a good long night. And I'm excited for it. I really am. I think Bianca and Becky. Oh, yeah, that's right. I think Bianca, I'm reading it, and I read the names backwards, because the first name is Becky, the second is Bianca, but I said Bianca Becky. And I didn't read it as I saw it, but once I saw it, I said it. I spoke up on it. But I think that's going to be the best match on the card of Saturday's WrestleMania card. I think this shit is about to be amazing. I think they're about to tear the fucking house down. I really do. I hope they close. I really hope they close. But I'm almost certain KO and Stone Cold either closing or Charlotte and Ronda closing. But I really would like to see Bianca and Becky close the show just off. I think Bianca need these moments now. Like, she gonna get them anyways. But I really think, and I another great thing about having a 2-night WrestleMania, because I know some people look at it and be like, well, Sunday the important night. Well, I don't really look at it as such. I think both nights is just important as the other. Not only that, the best thing about having 2 nights is you give 2 different wrestlers or 2 different groups of wrestlers, however it pan out, the main event spots. So tonight somebody will get the main event spot. Tomorrow night Roman Reigns and Brock will get the main event slot. Not only that, you give people co-main event slots now. So now tonight somebody will get a co-main event slot. Tomorrow night somebody will get co-main event slots. And that just continues to build up matches, wrestlers, their confidence, their places, being, if people care about where they spotted at on the roster or on the card and shit like that. Like, I really have bought all the way in until WrestleMania having it 2 nights. I done bought all the way into it. Like, unbelievable. I can't wait till one day I blow up, I become a big channel, and I can do shit for like WrestleMania week. And especially celebrating WrestleMania for 2 nights. Because I just think this is the greatest. I told you, for me, it's WrestleMania, Super Bowl. WrestleMania is just an unbelievable spectacle. It's almost because, to me, I'm cheering for everybody at WrestleMania. I want everybody to put on a show. I want everybody to be great. You know what I'm saying? Whereas other shows throughout the year, yeah, I want everybody to shine. I want everybody to be great. On WrestleMania, it's no way you can lose. Because if everybody is winning and everybody is doing their best and everybody putting on a show, then I win either way. You see what I'm saying? It's a win regardless. Wrestling fans leave knowing they just had an absolute show put on in front of them. Like, they just witnessed a spectacle. They're going to be telling these stories with their kids, to their spouse, with their spouse for years. You know what I'm saying? These is moments you talk about at Christmas time. You remember when we did this throughout the year? Or, you know what I'm saying? When you're going on other events. You go on other events in hopes that they turn out like these type of events. But these type of events don't turn out like this if not for the people who put on the show. So these type of events, you root for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is about to be a spectacle. And the last match, if you want to call it that, I actually kind of think this should start off the show. But somebody talked me out of that. I actually do believe a wrestling match could kick off the show. Now, obviously, the kickoff won't probably be, who knows. But KO show featuring Kevin Owens, star guest, the Rattlesnake. Or is it the Texas Rattlesnake? Stone Cold Steve Austin. I remember when I was growing up, people used to call that motherfucker Stone Cold Steve Austin Hart. That shit was crazy. But anyways, this is gonna be one of those to get the crowd off their fucking asses. I'm telling you right now, Stone Cold, as soon as that glass break, as soon as that shatter, the crowd is going to lose their fucking minds. Even Kevin Owens, when he's standing out there and he waiting for it, he gonna get goosebumps like, wow, this shit is really happening right now. I am really at WrestleMania about to have a program, an event, a whatever you want to call it, with Stone Cold right now. Like, this is in fucking. If I was Kevin Owens, I ain't shitting myself or nothing crazy like that. But every hair on my body is standing up. I'm telling you. For me, it would be if I'm in the ring and The Rock walked down, or Triple H, because those are my two favorite wrestlers all the time. So if either of those two walk down to the ring and I'm in there, I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, this is surreal. This is not happening. How am I in this moment right now? I imagine that's what it's going to be like. Now, granted, that might be more so Bret Hart for Kevin Owens, seeing as how he Canadian, Bret Canadian. So for him, that could be. But either way, Stone Cold is generational. It don't matter where you from. He is spaceless, timeless. Like, that's Stone fucking Cold. So Kevin Owens sitting in the ring waiting for Stone Cold to walk out. That shit's gonna be insane. Who knows what's going? We're gonna see a fucking stunner. I tell you that. You don't bring Stone Cold Steve Austin out without bringing a motherfucking Stone Cold stunner out. I'm telling you right now, we're gonna get some beer drinking. What? We're gonna get some stunners. What? We're gonna get some middle fingers. What? We're gonna get some whats. This shit is about to be lit. This is about to be lit. And then you got Stone Cold, one of the great talkers. Kevin Owens, one of the great talkers. This shit about to be insane. I don't know what's gonna happen. But boy, something gonna happen. Something going down in Dallas, fucking Texas. And what a beautiful stadium to have this event at, in Jerry's World. Wow. You know SoFi coming up. You know they doing a SoFi show at Mania eventually. You know it's in the pipeline. The two best stadiums in football, with SoFi being the best by absolute ridiculous landslide, because SoFi Stadium is unreal. When you look at the pictures of that shit, and that's just based off of looking at pictures and virtual tours and shit. Like, I haven't even been to SoFi Stadium, and I know that shit is the best stadium I've ever seen in my life. Which is why I keep saying, yo, like, I can't wait to Madden somehow lose their license, or EA lose their license to the NFL, and some fucking game really put a fucking real football simulation on the on the marketplace, and they decide, you know what would be nice? If we showed off these $1 billion stadiums that the teams play in once in a while. You know? That would be absolutely nice. If we showed off the stadiums they played in, so it don't look like everybody playing in a box on green fields or turf with fans around them. Let's actually take some shots of the stadium and look around the stadium and shit like that. Let's have different type of dope ass angles so we can observe how beautiful the stadiums and shit are. How about you get people to, this ain't a fucking football thing. This ain't a football thing. Either way, beautiful stadium to have this event at. But this shit right here, hey, they in Texas, yo. This is like when The Rock, they did the Mania for The Rock at Miami. You already knew they was going to go nuts for this motherfucker in Miami. You already knew, because that's basically his hometown for him. That's home for him here, is Miami. You knew they were going to go nuts. You know they about to go nuts in Dallas, Texas for fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin. Even if he ain't from Dallas, Texas, all of Texas is the home of Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's just how it go. And that's the bottom line. Because Saint told you so. I appreciate y'all. And forgive me for not releasing those weekly lead up to WrestleManias. It's not because WrestleMania week wasn't important to me. I just got over busy and couldn't manage myself properly. So I shall be better next time around. But I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Wrasslin with Saint. I hope you have a dope day. I hope you enjoy your day. I can't talk for some reason now. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Saint out.
How the fuck I pay a couple card notes and ain't even whipping? How the fuck I'm putting food on the table while I ain't living? Cursed from being alone with these dreams of a happy home. So when I think it's really love, I give them anything they want. I got stupid shit I did as a kid defining me lately. When I try to open up a new chapter, they still hate me. My mental my only drug, so I'm doing this shit alone. Last time I fought depression and she got me on my zone. One bad move from thuggery, hit record from luxury. Pop said some shit that stuck with me. All it take is a mustard seed. Yesterday I copped $40 of pot those. Homie in